I'm going to work on a project that I've been wanting to work on for several weeks, but I keep putting it off. Today was a good day to try it because of two reasons. One was I got a comment from Maria, you know who you are, saying, remember those koi watercolors that you put into your little palettes? Have you gotten them out and used them yet? And no, I hadn't. It'd always been in the back of my mind, and I wanted to. So I thought, this would be a good thing to do a video on today. Well then, today is Wednesday, and when I can, it's not always possible, but when I can, I try to catch Gina Ahrens on her Watercolor Wednesday. She's doing live videos now, YouTube Live, and I really do enjoy these. I enjoy Gina Ahrens. I like her, and she's very knowledgeable. Gina teaches, she's taught in the past. She is one of the teachers that I really do appreciate. So I decided that I was going to get out these koi watercolors. I had done a video several months ago. It was either in September or October, where I had taken these koi watercolors that I'd gotten in a tube set. I do like these, but I'm not really hip on using my watercolors out of a tube. They're just more convenient for me to use in a palette. Well, I had this little case, which has, I'm going to open this up, and I thought, well, that would be really nice to put my watercolors in. So I did a video, and I'll link to it in my iCard and in the description box below, where I'm going to squeeze out my watercolors into one of these little cases. I let it dry out completely, and I put the lid back on when it was dry, not while it's still wet. And then I put it away. I put it away over Thanksgiving and over Christmas and over New Year's, over Valentine's. And I was inspired today by that comment from Marie. Marie, you know who you are. She asked, have you gotten your koi watercolors out yet? Have you used them? And no, I hadn't. Well, I was watching Gina Ahrens' video, and I ran in and I got my set of koi watercolors. I thought, I'm going to get these out and do a video on them. So I did, and here's what I found. I did a color swatch like Gina does. I very rarely do swatches. I don't know why. I guess I think I know. Oh. I did do the swatch here because I was being taught by Gina, and I wanted to do what Gina did. Mine are just little swatches on my paper and with the names. And so I did that. But here's what I found out with my koi watercolors. And let's pick one. Let's pick this color, which is, oh yes, now I know the colors because I have the swatch here. This is a carmine red. And I opened it up to look at it. And Gina says not to fill your little pans. She uses the little pans. I have these little cases with the lid on it. She said, don't fill them too full. Well, I didn't fill them too full, so I'm okay there. But here's what I'm unhappy with. Can you see how they're dried out? Now, this one is not too bad. My yellow ochre, total chunks in there. So, I am a little bit disappointed that they all dried out on me. This one is not too bad, but I am going to snap it out. In the live watercolor chat today, I asked Gina what I could do about this. Why did she think they dried out? And she suggested that maybe it had something to do with the dryness of the air. I do think that it is dry in here. I think over the winter is dry. And I think that affected it. Now, I think that this one I could probably reconstitute with water, be very happy with. But here's what Gina suggested. She suggested removing them from the case, which I'm going to do. And I got most of it out. And putting it in a little baggie and smashing it and reconstituting it, make a paste, and reconstituting it with gum arabic. I'd had this Winsor Newton gum arabic around for at least a year, maybe even longer than that, and I've never used it. And look, I looked at it today and it said for watercolor, and it says, increased brilliance, gloss, and transparency of watercolors controls the spread of wet on wet, reduces staining, gum arabic preservative water. So that's what I'm going to use. I'm going to try Gina's suggestion. She said, take it out to the garage, get a big hammer. I have a big hammer. I have my Stanley hammer. But what I have here is I have a styrofoam tray, and I have some wax paper. Maybe I'll double this up a little. Maybe 3 times or 4 times so that it doesn't come out until I lift it out. And then I have a lid that I cut the sides off of. I'm going to put that right down in there. And the thing is that she's advising to do is to smash it up, put it back into the little case, and add some gum arabic into it until it becomes a nice little paste, and then let that dry out before you put the lid back on. Wow, look at this. I was hitting that rather hard with my hammer. I hit that hard several times. It did break it, but it hasn't smashed it yet. It's still in rather large chunks. I was expecting it to be very fine. I'm going to try to break it up just a little bit more, and then I'm going to add the gum arabic to it. Okay, I broke this up a little bit more. It's not breaking any finer than this. I'm going to see what happens if I add gum arabic to it, if it'll soften it and make it pasty. We're just going to use what I have here. I'm going to put it back into this little container. That's pretty good. Let's see what happens here. I do have and I was hitting that hard. Look, I hit it hard. I think this watercolor is a very strong substance when it's dry. I don't know how much to put in. So we're just going to add some. There's 1 pipette full. Maybe I'll zoom in a little so you can see it better. Let's see what happens here. I may have to let this set. So I'm going to have this one be my test one. And then I'll come back tomorrow. This is going to be my video for today. I'll come back tomorrow and we'll see what shape this is in. I'm just going to leave it out. I'm going to let it soak in to those clumps in there. And I may stir it occasionally. But we'll come back tomorrow and see what that's like. It's always fun to experiment. And let me give another shout out to Gina Ahrens. She's got a wonderful channel. She's always doing something. She does art every day. And, well, you know me, I love to do art every day. So I follow her all the time. I think she's a excellent artist, but this is a shout out for Gina Ahrens. I'm going to put a link to her channel and to her Watercolor Wednesdays playlist. Go check her out. I can't keep my palette knife out of it. It is getting pasty, and I do like that there does seem to be color coming out in it. Now, this gum arabic, it said that it increases brilliance, gloss, and transparency. I wonder how much transparency that it's going to increase here. It's still pretty pasty, but let me tell you, I can't keep my palette knife out of it. I'm wondering if maybe I shouldn't try doing the same thing to my yellow ochre, and my green is all chunked up. They're all pretty chunked up. This black isn't too bad. Yellow is chunked up. This red isn't bad. But these colors are pretty bad here. I have some more experiments that I want to try, but I'm going to keep these videos fairly short. I can't keep my palette knife out of it. I will see you tomorrow on the next page.